everyone. Welcome to episode 68 of the Unknown Comics Podcast. I'm Brandon. That's Chris. And Darren is forever the thorn in my side live from Florida. Your webcam looks humid.
Humid?
Humid, yeah. Because
it is warm in my room.
Everything in Florida is humid.
Looks like your fan's going the right direction now, though, so that's good.
I fixed it.
It's a little switch at the top.
So I actually had to climb. Okay, so these are like 9-foot ceilings or whatnot. So I had to get like a tall step stool, crawl up there, get my phone, take it, and put the camera mode on until I could find the damn switch because it's on the very top of the fan.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of heights.
Yes, you are very afraid of heights. Now your camera's going every which way, but in front of your face. Right. There you are.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to make my view look different.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Chris, what do we got going on at Unknown Comics this week?
Of course, lots of hot new exclusives popping up this week on the website. A lot of good stuff next week as well. Let's see what we launched this week. I think tomorrow we got Rogan Gambit tomorrow. New exclusive blank coming up with that.
Mm-hmm.
That covers some Car Andrews in a 90s style. Not a foil variants, which is just super cool. We've got them locked in for I think 2 or 3 more of those. So really excited about that.
We've done 3 total, right?
This is our third one.
The third one.
Yeah. And we'll have them on some Spider-Man maybe versions of this and some other stuff too. So
the next 2 are Spider-Man and MJ and Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Yep.
Nice.
And it'll be that 90s style again. We've also got him doing a Darth Vader for us, so I'm really excited about that one. It won't be that 90s style. Of course, it'll just be whatever Lucasfilms and him work out. But
launch this week. Tomorrow we got Rogan.
Stop it, Darren.
Every time.
I was saying hi to Steve.
So we have all that coming in, and then we've got like I said, a good amount of stuff next week launching. We just sent out the schedule for that. So I'm trying to think of what we have. My brain just goes completely dead, But I can pull up notes and I can look at stuff. I guess
technically we were supposed to prep all this before the show.
Yeah,
just have it ready.
It's such a cool idea.
That's so proper broadcasting.
So next week we've got Spider-Gwen from Kel New coming out. It's a great exclusive. We've got a Ghost Rider cover, Hollow Z from Sabine Rich, and another Star Wars cover from Patch Zerker. So a lot of cool exclusives coming out next week. Of course, we still have our $100 bundle on sale, which is a way for you to maybe win an original piece of art from Clayton Crane. So we still have some of those bundles available. I think on Facebook that's got a pinned product there. So you can grab that up. It's only $100. It's one of the best bundles we've ever put together. And you get a chance to win that Clayton Crane art. So pretty sweet. And, of course, what we're doing here, podcast and things like that. Whatnot. Yeah. Lots of whatnot stuff.
So if you want a preview of any of the exclusives that we're dropping next week, you can see it first on YouTube in the This Week at Unknown video. That's where we preview most of the covers that we have coming for the next week, even though there are some books that come out in the middle of the week that I don't know of.
We'll find out about them after you make the video.
Yeah, after I make the video, we just all of a sudden we have other exclusives that launch. So I get to play catch up the next week. So if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, definitely do that. And we also give away stuff on it, so you should do that. Darren, I know what you've been into this week. What have you been up to this week as far as nerd crap goes?
So
you don't have one of them things you've been doing right there with you?
I do. So I've been working on painting my Tyranids some more, and then I got into Marvel, or Brandon helped push me over the edge, but I saw some painted minis for Marvel United.
Yep.
I have no real desire to play the game, I don't think, but I really wanted to paint the models.
The game is actually pretty. Put your hand behind it so it focuses.
Yeah, for those that are watching. If you're listening...
Pull it back. Just the model. Put your hand.
Pull the model closer to your hand. Okay.
Anyway. It's a fail. It's fine.
It's fine.
So that's one that I finished. I have Gambit that I'm working on.
Hey, he's not poop brown anymore.
He looked like solid poop when you showed us the original picture. Cause
I know. I laid down the foundation colors, but he's mostly brown because of his coat.
Yeah.
So I primed him brown.
It is a fun game. It
goes pretty fast.
Yeah, it goes pretty fast.
Miko says hi.
Hey, what's up, Miko?
We'll get to chat. Chill.
Hi.
Sorry, I just want to say hi to Miko.
Anyway,
Listen.
what else you been into?
I finished House of Dragons.
That's one of those.
I watched The Last of Us episode 2. I've watched not a nerd show, but I'm super sad that I found out last night that New Amsterdam is canceled. I watched the
That
last
was a
episode
medical
of that
show,
today.
right?
It was, but I've actually been watching. I remember watching the first episode in Baltimore in my hotel room. So
The scariest town you've ever been to.
Baltimore is by far the most terrifying place. Outside of that, I've just been kind of painting and putting models together, and not really a whole lot more. I mean, I've been mostly doing a lot of Whatnot shows at night at 11, which is way past my bedtime, and just kind of learning new tasks during the day.
11 Eastern for those that are
11 Eastern.
Yep. And you've got one tonight at 11 Eastern, right?
I just scheduled it, so yeah.
Okay. So for those of you that follow us on Whatnot or want to see what Darren's selling on Whatnot, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Central for those. So, all right, Chris, you're up.
Hi.
What you been into this week?
So, of course, Last of Us. It's good. It's really good. This week we saw full-blown clickers and all that kind of jazz from the game, and yeah, it's really good. And I don't know if you've watched it yet or had a chance to watch it yet, but it's really good.
No, I haven't started it yet. I'm still plugging through Picard.
Yeah.
I've been pretty busy.
It's all your free time's going to just the one.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much just trying to get through Picard so I can be done before February 13th. I'm running out of time. And then Crystal and I are watching the new season of Criminal Minds, which I think we're caught up. I didn't think I'd get into it, and it was one of those things that she was watching it, and I was on my computer, and I just kind of felt myself just staring at the screen instead of like playing the game that I was meaning to play.
One of those things you're like, I don't know why you watch those shows. And you're like in the background sweeping, watching it. Like,
and she just and she just looks
Have
at me.
Have you seen a TikTok video about that?
Yeah,
yeah. And she just looks at me and smiles. She's like, "You're in this, aren't you?" I'm like, "Damn it, yes."
Don't talk to me.
Yeah. So,
and so that, and then of course Bad Batch. We're into episode 5 this week, so just watch that. It was today's episode or yesterday's episode. Wasn't I don't really understand it quite yet, but maybe it'll have more meaning later. But it's been good so far. I do kind of feel like they're kind of not focusing on, kind of like they did last season. It's not really a whole lot about the Bad Batch so much right now.
Yeah.
It's more kind of just Omega. But
yeah, we haven't watched anything past the second episode yet. So
yeah, but it's been good keeping up with that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of Mayor of Kingstown. Definitely a mature show on Paramount Plus as well with Jeremy Renner. I started watching some of that the other day while I was painting, and I had to stop painting because I was like, okay, I need to focus. So it's pretty good. I will say, just on that topic, that I did see a video of Jeremy Renner where he posted himself doing some rehab, and he does still have both legs. And there's some people out there saying like he doesn't have to have a leg amputated, but looks like he's just going through rehab to get everything fixed up. So that's good. Happy to hear that.
Nice.
Let's see. Of course, painting some Warhammer stuff. Look, there's a mini me there, little mini Darren.
There is.
What's up?
He can't hear you.
I know, but he can see me.
So cool.
That's most of my nerdness right now.
All right. Well, mine I pretty much already talked about.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of much of anything this week. I slept a lot. I did watch, and like I said, I watched an episode of Picard. Pretty cool so far. Like I said, I've only gone through the second episode.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then just been geeking out over this Kickstarter that I'm a part of, which we'll get into that. That's part of the topic tonight. So, okay, the topic for tonight is the obsession with collection.
I feel like I'm going to be the odd one out here, so it's fine.
Well, and I thought I would have been too, and I realized something this week. Oh my gosh, Darren, I'm gonna have to mute you until it's time for you to talk, because this is
Give me.
I think he's.
All right. Anyway,
He's off, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because he's having a chat right now.
Yeah. well, he muted himself too, but I've got him muted as well.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so you back? Okay. All right. So I started on a Kickstarter this week, and so we talked about the Marvel United game earlier, and it's a really fun game. I have basically everything that's gone to retail so far, which is the main Marvel United core game, the X-Men core, and then the Into the Spider-Verse expansion. Those are the only three things that they had previously released into retail. They've since released a couple of other expansions from the Kickstarters into retail. I haven't picked those up yet.
This is the third Kickstarter?
This is the third Kickstarter that's started now. So the first one was just Marvel United. Season 1 had basically just generic Marvel, didn't have any X characters. Season 2 was exclusively X-Men universe. Now Season 3 is their multiverse season, and it's everything. It's just kitchen sink. Pretty much anything. It's really not multiverse for the most part. The core set is, but there's very little outside of the core set that is. There's one expansion, which is Age of Apocalypse, which you could consider multiverse. Mm-hmm. That's it. Everything else is in, characters from main universe. Anyway, so I didn't get in on the first two Kickstarters, but if I remember right, like the first Kickstarter, the all-in was like $350 without shipping,
mm-hmm.
and of course shipping from CMON is like $50.
Mm-hmm.
Then X-Men, I think the all-in for it was $400 initially. And on shipping on that one, it was going to be $50. They ended up like doubling shipping before X-Men ever sold, like last minute. They like doubled everybody's shipping costs. So if you were all in on seasons 1 and seasons 2, you were like $800.
So is season 2 more like during the COVID time though, when shipping was stupid?
I think they both were. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I have to go back and look. But anyway, you get a ton of figures, and that's CMON's thing, right? You just get a lot of these little plastic chibi figures, and then of course all the pieces for the game, the card pieces and stuff like that. The cost of the game would be considerably less if they did not do plastic miniatures. If they just did cardboard tokens and stuff like that,
yeah,
there'd be nothing. But
the miniatures are really nice. I mean,
yeah.
they don't feel fragile. I mean, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they're pretty tough plastic, kind of rubbery type plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And that, here's the thing: CMON doesn't do cardboard only; they do miniatures. That's their thing, and they're known for it. And they're known for Kickstarters. They're known for FOMO Kickstarters, like that. They will have a ton of Kickstarter exclusives, and a lot of it will never see a retail shelf. Mm-hmm. Period. So of Marvel United, I believe, outside of the core box, 4 of the 6 expansions were not Kickstarter exclusives. But it took forever. It took till after season 2 Kickstarter for them to actually hit retail. They're just now hitting retail. And then now with that, the original, like if you got it through the Kickstarter, even the ones that were going retail had like a Kickstarter exclusive figure with it.
Yeah.
Right? Just to incentivize get it now. And then play mats, and then plastic tokens, and then harder cardstock stuff, like all this stuff that was Kickstarter exclusive. Then season 2 came out. Pretty much the same deal, only they had 9 expansions, only 3 of which were going to go retail. The other 6 were going to be Kickstarter exclusive. So they added more Kickstarter exclusive stuff, just nickeling and diming, had a Fantastic Four set inside there.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Which doesn't make sense to that set, by the way.
Well, so here's the thing: is the core is what dictates the theme. It's like multiverse. The core is the only thing that's multiverse. Everything else is just anything else they wanted to throw in there. So I
right. Well, I just mean that like Fantastic Four, almost exclusivity of mutants.
Yeah.
Just everything in this box is mutants. But here's the FF.
I think the reasoning for it was probably to pull other people in that weren't X fans. Because here's the thing: is you still had to pledge to get the core. Mm-hmm. because you couldn't do the optional buy to get Fantastic Four unless you at least bought the core box.
Yeah.
And the stretch goal box and stuff like that, because your core set's at least a $65 pledge minus shipping. And then your optional buys on top of that are, $30 to $40, depending on what the box is. Anyway, it is a fun game. I would not say it is my favorite game that I've ever played, but it's easy to play. It's easy to teach. My teenager can play it really well. It's just trying to get her to actually get to the table and play. And so this Kickstarter for season 3 came out, and now that I'm aware of the game, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this Kickstarter, because I want to start getting more of the stuff, and I want to kind of be on the, get in early and get all that fun extra stuff. And it's been fun watching them release stuff over the past, the Kickstarter's been going a week at this point, as of us recording this, and it's still got like pretty much 2 weeks left after this. It's been fun seeing the drip of characters. Like, they're hitting some really B-list characters, but it's cool. Like, it's like for me and Darren, like being X fans, the Starjammers.
Yeah.
Like,
I was surprised to see those.
you would
some of the
never
first things.
you would never see them in a game.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like Cypher finally is in a game for, for stuff.
Gladiator's one of them.
Yeah, like just all these characters that are they're classic characters, but they're not A-list characters, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing stuff like they're finally introducing like a team aspect where you have these team cards, and if all these characters are, part of this team or whatever, then there's this other deck that you can play, and all this new stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm in. And then so I get in and I pledge, and there's a Galactus expansion that's kind of out of the get-go, right?
Yeah, it's like a core box plus this.
Plus this for $100 plus shipping. And it's a 9-inch Galactus, big boy. Not quite as big as the Marvel Zombies one, which was a big deal. But
or even the HeroClix was pretty big too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Galactus. He needs to be big, right? And gameplay-wise, he could be, a cardboard hexagon.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need to be a gigantic, but again, it's CMON. They're going to do that. And so I backed it, and then they start, dropping a lot of the optional buys, and it was like a, $15 equipment card thing. Cool. I'll add that. Then they dropped the first expansion, which was War of Kings, which is Inhumans with Vulcan and Gladiator, which I could care less about the Inhumans. I think most people agree with me. That they could care less about the Inhumans, but I wanted Vulcan and Gladiator because I'm an X fan, and they're X adjacent as well. So $35.
Well, he's your favorite character's brother.
Yeah. And so I had that $35. Boom. Well, then they add a playmat. Well, the playmat's $30 because I don't have a playmat yet.
Yeah.
Add that, sure. And all of a sudden I'm looking, and it's like $180. I'm like, come on.
Oh, and the additional cards.
Yeah, that's what got me to the 180. And then they dropped the Age of Apocalypse expansion, which, my heart sank,
And they did a really cool thing this time where a lot of the acrylics are colored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
they,
the powers and stuff are kind of a little different.
Yeah,
so.
they didn't do any of the acrylics in season 1. In season 2, they did a lot of fire colored acrylics for like Dark Phoenix.
It makes it hard to paint those.
Yeah. Well, a lot of painters just paint over it and just paint their fire effects over it.
Yeah, just kind of leave the base like it is.
Yeah. And then, so season 3, they're doing other colored acrylics, and like for Holocaust, Nemesis, he came out of the box being called Holocaust, but they've since rebranded him Nemesis because,
Bad word.
He actually has like a clear helmet you can take off and actually paint his skull and then put the clear helmet back on. Which is cool. And all of a sudden I'm just looking, I'm like, do I love this? Am I going to play this freaking game? Or do I just want it to want it? I'm not a painter, so the chances of me ever painting the things are next to nothing. With what I have right now, I barely played it. I showed it to you. I've played it with Tanner once. I've played it with my daughter a couple of times. Here's the thing. Is all this stuff is on Tabletop Simulator, and I can play all of it without owning it solo right now. And I do.
But you want it.
But I want it. Why do I want it? What am I going to do with it? And am I going to literally spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars that I could spend on something else awesome just to have all this stuff because they made little figurines of my favorite characters and my favorite B-list characters that I'm never going to see in any other property again.
They're so cute.
They are. They're cool. Like, what the hell am I doing? And so that got me to thinking is like that at the end of the day, this is our business, right? Is people just wanting to have something to have it. So what I'm just trying to understand myself, I guess, when I talk about this is am I stupid or what? I don't understand. So Darren, you're a collector.
He's trying to say you're stupid with him.
No. Is it for you? Is it what drives collection for you? I don't know. Is it the investment side? Is it the I just have it to say I have it, and then it goes in a drawer? Like, what is it an obsession? Is collecting a sickness?
So my personal opinion on this is men need hobbies, and we just need something to preoccupy, a box to take down and enjoy, and to escape from the things that come with our day to days, whether it be comics or cars or guns. And this game, Brandon, you're a huge gamer. So now they took all of this game stuff in which you love. Game is a passion of yours, and then gave you little chibi cute things. Of course, they won you over. They gave you nostalgia. They even went with all the '90s costumes and everything that we knew about X-Men and stuff growing up. They gave it all to you, and so now it's just about now you want it. And there's a part of you. I don't know if you're like me, Brandon. But there's a part of you. I know Chris is this way with the Star Wars and this other stuff, or even football. Kind of want our kids to get into it, and this is kind of a way that we can kind of sneakily invite our kids to be part of the world that we grew up with.
Yeah.
So,
well, to that point, I have my daughter's 16, going on about to be 17 really quick. She likes the idea. She's into watching nerdy stuff and kind of being into the things I'm in, but she doesn't want to. Like, gaming is just, she'll play it and she'll enjoy it, but I have to convince her to do it. Right?
Yeah, because you'll knock her down a couple spots on the social setting at school.
Maybe.
I don't know if she cares so much.
I don't think she really cares. I think she's perfectly happy being a dork at school. It's just that's not what she wants to dork out about, right?
Yeah.
She'd rather watch My Hero Academia or whatever, or watch Marvel animated shows, and all the movies and stuff. She'll watch all of it and totally be into it. I gave her, I had Marvel Unlimited and gave her the subscription on her tablet, and she barely read it.
Yeah.
So like she's into the universe, let's say that, but the mediums, she's not into the same mediums I'm into.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
So I propose a secondary question to that.
Yeah.
Is she into the medium when you're around, because that's her way of spending time with you?
Yes. And I think that's, but like I said, it's still never her idea. She'll never come to me and say, "Hey, do you want to play Marvel United?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because I'd be like, "Yep, let's go."
Yeah.
It's always like, "Hey, Liv, do you want to play Marvel United tonight?" Yeah, sure. And then, like, after we get the kids, the littles to bed and everything, and she's already in her room, and I was like, "Hey, do you still want to play?" And she's like, "No, I'm tired." So, and of course, my wife is not going to have anything to do with it. She does not like nerd games at all.
Yeah.
She'll play Clue and Wahoo and stuff like that and cards, but anything with the theme, like, she immediately thinks is way too complicated.
I don't think Sabrina would care so much about theme. Is it how much strategy does it take?
Yeah.
That's where she's like.
And I don't think Marvel United, I don't think has that much. It is very reactionary.
No, and of course you're working with each other against the board, so that also helps.
Yeah. Yeah. So then again, so I'm looking at the price tag of all this. I'm still pledging, I haven't changed my pledges at all. I'm still in this. I'm just like, if I do this, I'm going to have such buyer's remorse if it just sits on a shelf and does nothing. And I spent hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, because I'm still got to go back and pick up all the retail stuff or go back. Cause today they actually offered the stretch goal sets for the last two campaigns for $220. Like,
What?
yeah.
Darren's all Kickstarter.
Well, just the stretch goal boxes, not the expansions.
That's the expensive stuff anyways.
Yes. But also not the Kickstarter exclusive miniatures and the retail expansions, yada yada yada, play mats, all that stuff. So I'm like, and I'm looking at it, and my finger is like hovering over, and I'm just like, am I going to play these characters when? Here's the thing: my main way of ingesting the game is Tabletop Simulator on my laptop, and I can literally play everything solo. Or if I had friends that also have it, we could play multiplayer on it and not spend a freaking dime. And I can still geek out over all these different characters and stuff like that. So, like, I'm just obsessed with spending money at this point just to own it. And because, case in point, last year I spent probably $300 to build that Magic the Gathering Jumpstart kit. How many times have I busted that out? I busted it out quite a bit at the beginning. We did a couple events here at the store and had a little bit of fun with it, but it's been sitting in the back room for almost a year now, and I haven't touched it, So that begs the point, I should probably just see if I can sell it and then supplement, all these collections. Quite a few years ago, Darren, we were playing Star Wars Imperial Assault, and I bought every freaking expansion for that. Just because I have this, I need all of it. Even if I'm not going to use it all, I just need it. And it's like, to me, for myself, it's almost like a borderline sickness.
I think for some people it for sure is. I mean, we've got a lot of buyers or collectors, whatever you want to call them, that they, we've got a guy here locally. He's like, I have to have it. I have to have all of them. I don't care if there's 80 of them. I have to have all 80. Like, I have to have all 80. And I guess you could say at least they're not doing cocaine, but they're still addicted to it. They need it all, and that's why they tell themselves, if I don't get one, then I'm okay. But if I start to get, one of this or one of that, I'm in for the whole shebang.
I mean, I got out of X-Men for like a year and a half, and then my friend James sold me that X-Men 266, signed 5 times, and I'm like, well, shit, I guess I'm back in the hobby.
Yeah, not only that,
but
I bought
I
like 10 of those.
I have. It's silly.
Was the 5 signed at New York, or was that a different one?
This was something that was already signed.
It was over a year ago, I think.
So let me ask you that. So Darren, because I know, Chris, you're not a huge collector of things, but for non-discretionary purchases, just fun money stuff, what's your checklist of, it needs to tick all these things before it's worth spending money on? Like, what does the environment have to be before you can justify and not regret the purchase?
There's always a little bit of regret in every purchase. For me, it's is it something at 41 years old with 5 kids, I now look at, is it something I can do with my children, or is it something I do exclusively for myself? Does it have ROI, return on investment? Am I able to, if I buy it, can I get more than I spent or part of what I spent? Does it have something to that extent? So kind of the way I look at hobbies is, the Marvel United was just, those are really cool miniatures.
Yeah.
And so I bought them because the miniatures were cool. I don't know if I have a desire to actually learn to play the game. But my son does. My son really wants to learn how to play the game. My daughter will learn too. So I just wanted to paint the miniatures.
Well, I would totally
I just
teach
wanted to
them
sit-
if you still lived in Texas. So that's on you.
YouTube video it up. I'm sure there's one out there.
It's not hard. And like I said, I think it's a really fun, accessible game. The villains are where the kind of the variety really lives. There's not, and that's the other thing is gameplay wise, there's not a lot of mechanical variety between the heroes, other than the way the cards look, the way the miniature looks. There are some things, and they're adding stuff to the game that kind of bridges that. They've added equipment to the game. They've added the team aspect to some of it to kind of dial down to get into the heroes theme a little bit more. But where the game really varies, and this is why you see more heroes than villains, is mechanically it takes more effort to make villains than it does the heroes. But yeah, it's like I said, and it's not just this game. Like it's, when I get into something, I get into it hard, and then I don't touch it. I've done this.
And some of that's the environment around you, who's doing what. And you just kind of want to be a part of that too, right? So whether it be you trying to start it up or it's already going and you want to be a part of it, that's part of it as well. I think for me, as far as like what I would spend money on is, I have to look at it like, like going to a theme park for the day or whatever. Like going into it, what kind of time am I going to get back out of that money? That's kind of thing for me is what it is. Like if I'm just buying something that I'm not going to mess with, usually I don't, but that's just because I don't normally have those need for something laying around where we don't collect a whole lot of things. So my brain doesn't really work that way. It's really more about what am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
And if I feel like I'm actually going to put time into it or use it, then for sure I'm going to get it.
All right. Well, thanks for indulging me in this little side list. If you are listening online or watching on YouTube later, what are some collections you've obsessed about? Go ahead and put it in the comments or message us and definitely let us know. All right, everyone. Well, if you want to catch us live, we're doing this every Thursday that we can at 7 p.m.
Except for next week.
Well, so I may be able to be here next week. But here's the other thing. Just because I'm not here, it can still happen. Just got.
Well, I was going to even be there next week, probably.
Yeah. So I think I can actually be here because I really hate now that we've kind of rebooted and we're trying to get this ball moving again. Those little pauses and breaks kind of slow us down, and I really want to keep the boulder rolling. So we're going to try our best. I'm going to see if the teenager's comfortable watching the hurricane and the tornado that evening while we do this, and then all that stuff. So we'll get all that figured out. But you'll know. I'll post whether or not if we're not gonna go live next Thursday night, I will post on all our social platforms one way or the other. So, but yeah, and then next week we'll have a new, fun, interesting topic to talk about. We don't know what that is yet, but we will. And then yeah. So, guys, thanks for joining us. We love y'all, and hope you have a great evening. Bye.
Hey, guys.
Later.